Scott Fairlamb is his name. And he's a whiny-ass little crybaby who showed up at the 1/6 riot and assault on democracy in this country and made a big fucking deal of himself by holding one of the pepper balls in his teeth. Maybe you saw the pictures of assaulting D.C. cops when the D.C. cops were outnumbered about 5,000 to 1 or close to it. A real punk bastard. But like I've said so many times about these militia types, they're a bunch of cowardly little crybabies. The only time they display anything that even might be remotely like real courage is when they're in a mob. And then it's not courage, it's animalistic bullshit. Well, Scott Fairlamb, now here's a little interesting background. His daddy was a New Jersey state trooper, and his brother is a Secret Service agent who served on First Lady Michelle Obama's detail, right? But we're not talking about daddy or brother, we're talking about Scott. He's a Trump supporter who assaulted law enforcement during the attack on the U.S. Capitol. Well, yesterday he was sentenced, this little son of a bitch, to 41 months in prison, the stiffest sentence yet handed down in the 1/6 attack. 41 months in prison. What did he do? He stood in front of the judge and cried, "Judge, oh, show me mercy." I was completely irresponsible and in reckless behavior, and I take full responsibility. You little fuck, you. You weren't crying and weeping and begging for mercy when you were brutalizing outnumbered police officers, were you, you little shit? You little bearded bastard, you. I take full responsibility. Oh, please, Judge, please. I'll be raped in jail. Ah! Well, the judge, oh, Jesus God. The judge, Royce Lamberth, said he couldn't go below the sentencing guidelines, given what this little cowardly prick had done. But the judge added that the little cowardly prick had done the right thing by pleading guilty. The judge added that no jury would have acquitted the little crybaby prick for what he did. Now, the little crybaby was the first Capitol riot defendant, according to Huffington Post, to take a plea deal for assaulting an officer on January 6th. And he was the first defendant sentenced for a violent crime. He pled guilty to 2 counts. One of them assaulting a police officer, and the other of obstructing of an official proceeding. Oh, don't send me to prison. One of the prosecutors in this case stressed the importance of deterrence. And the prosecutor said that the court must send a clear message that violent attacks in support of a political cause would draw a strong response from the federal government, blah, blah, blah. I'm quoting, as you can tell by the stilted language. I know what I would have said if I were the judge. No, I wouldn't have, because I would have been thrown off the bench. Now, the pro-Trump slime in this country still scream and screech and vomit that the January 6th defendants are being treated unfairly. One of them even escaped and is now a political refugee in Belarus, run by, Lukashenko, another fascist, just like Josh Hawley and the rest of these bastards. But a New Jersey-based attorney who represented the crybaby here and previously worked out with the crybaby, this attorney told the judge that the government was, quote, absolutely fair to his client and had done nothing but elevate the status of their office, end quote. Ooh, talk about sucking up, huh? Sucking up to the prosecutor, and the judge didn't quite work, did it? New Jersey-based attorney. Didn't quite work. And this attorney also said that the crybaby little prick no longer believed that the election was stolen. And that he, honest to God, Judge, crossed my heart and home to pee, he has a different ideology than when he came to the Capitol on January 6th. Oh, well, bless his heart. Nothing like being charged with federal crime and staring at federal incarceration to straighten one of these jackleg little pissants out, right? The attorney, oh, by the way, his name is Harley Bright. Harley said, quote, I think he's more aware of the divisiveness and the willingness of certain news outlets to serve and cater to an agenda rather than absolute truth. Really? Oh, stick it in your ass and stick it in the crybaby's ass. Isn't it funny how all of a sudden your little crybaby client has decided, oh, well, all those news outlets, Newsmax and Onan News and Fox, they just misled me. Now I see the light. I really do. Don't send me to prison. Ah! Oh, my God. Now, the crybaby sentence was the harshest one handed out yet in the Capitol riot case. There are 650 defendants who have been arrested, been charged. Hundreds more criminals that are still wandering around, jumping up and down in the little fucking toy military outfits and waving their AR-15s and talking big. Yeah, well, stop the steal and shit, right? Still hundreds of them. Maybe you know a couple, huh? And more than 2/3 of these little scum fucks who were charged were caught on camera engaging in the conduct for which they've been arrested. And 250 of them are people who assaulted the cops during the U.S. Capitol attack. There they are. I hope they get that guy with the horns on his head, the little cuckold horns on his head, the shaman of QAnon or whatever the hell he is. Man. But as predicted by your humble and obedient servant here, you take these guys and make them realize they're going to face almost 4 years in a federal penitentiary, and all of a sudden they just collapse like the little column of urine that they really are. Ah, no, please, Your Honor, mercy, mercy. Yeah. Little shits. So anyway, Scott Fairlamb, have fun. I would imagine a bit of good advice would be while you're in prison, try your damnedest to keep your legs crossed, okay? Just, be careful where you shower. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.